things that we've learned is that knowledge-based authentication questions by themselves are not a strong authenticator. So when we compare Pindrop authentication to KBA, we see much improved results. We have one customer who we're able to identify that greater than 50% of fraudsters are able to pass the authentication practices at the agent line. When we compare that to Pindrop results, we see that number drops from 52% to 12%. Because we see such high rates of fraudsters able to pass KBA, we don't typically recommend that as a best practice for the determination whether or not to enroll a voice. We actually find the most effective solution is to use the Pindrop risk evaluation. That allows for the maximum amount of enrollments while reducing the level of risk of fraudsters potentially enrolling in the solution. One of the things that we've also identified is we see higher rates of repeat callers than we previously anticipated. So when we first started rolling out the solution, we would ask customers, how often do they call in? And they would give an average number of, or average frequency they would see a customer call in on a given month or a given year. What we've found with one customer in the insurance vertical is that we actually see that 10% of the customer traffic actually makes up more than 50% of the call volume. So while the average customer may not call in more than once or twice a year, there's a very small percentage of your customers that call in very frequently to check balances, to request statements, and that ultimately drives a lot of the value you'll see in the solution, because it's those repeat callers that you'll be able to very quickly start authenticating and reducing the amount of friction they experience. So one of the things that we've learned is that voice authentication is a complicated solution to deploy. So here at Pindrop, we have a team of experts that'll go on site and map your call flows and actually make recommendations where to place certain APIs to provide you the optimal value you're hoping to see in the solution. So one of the things I anticipate seeing in 2020 as we see an increased shift in voice is that the customer expectations will change, right? So as more large banks and institutions deploy a voice authentication solution, that expectation is going to change, and customers will ultimately expect less friction. And if you're not changing with the times, they can ultimately go to a bank or financial institution that does have better customer experiences.